Welcome to this episode that's all about Miss Universe's Media Week. My name is Dani Walker. Welcome to the channel. If you're brand new, please consider subscribing and hitting that notifications bell. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, you can do so by hitting that super thanks button. Huge thanks to some of my recent supporters, Neil, Marla, and Chet. Thank you so much for allowing me to do what I love to do. And if you're a pageant contestant and you're preparing for a competition, please check out the free pageant prep course that is linked in the description. After Arbany was crowned, she went straight into a post-show press conference. She answered lots of questions and got to share about her preparation, her plans for the year, about her career in fashion, and so much more. She said something very interesting here that I thought was really funny, is that at the last minute, she decided to add blue stones to the top of her gown to match the blue sapphire crown. It's funny to me because in a previous episode, I mentioned this. You know what's interesting? The crown that Pia was crowned in, that Deke crown, that had a blue stone in it, and then Pia was in blue. And it looked lovely. I wonder if this year's winner will be in blue as well. I think it's so fun that she added those blue stones at the last minute, and I think it's really cool that Anne even made mention of that and referred to her being such a transformational leader. She was right on it. After the press conference, Arbany flew to New York, where she moved into her new apartment, and she flew in style. This is one of her first looks that we got to see post-crowning. I absolutely loved it. It actually reminded me a lot of Celeste's departure outfit that she wore that I loved and I put in another episode, but this is such a fabulous look. I think she looked perfect and she was really starting off Media Week strong. She spoke to a lot of different publications via video, sometimes for in-person interviews, and other times there were publications just creating articles about her. If you've checked out these articles, you probably noticed that there's a lot of the same information in some of these articles. Of course, much of the news was about how she is a sustainable fashion designer, but there was something interesting that I saw in Yahoo Life in regards to the prize package, and I really would love to know, can anyone confirm if this is actually accurate? I'm wondering if this was misquoted or miswritten, but it says that Arbany has received around $250,000 as her annual salary for the responsibilities that come with the Grandoise victory. But it also mentions, apart from the annual salary, the Miss Universe 2022 winner is also awarded with prize money of approximately $250,000 USD. Excuse me? Is this saying that she is receiving the $250 salary and then an additional $250, so she receives a minimum of $500,000 for being Miss Universe? That blows my mind. Just to put this in a little bit of perspective, if this is accurate, so $500,000 USD, pre-taxes and all of that stuff, is over 16 million baht in Thailand. So just imagine if she wasn't from the US, right? And she's not living with these prices. But imagine if Miss Universe had been won by another country where the US dollar has a higher value, and then that was their take home. Like, granted, I know there's gonna be some life expenses, but not that many, because when you're a Miss Universe, they pay for your apartment, your travel, I don't know about food, but most of your expenses are paid for. And you also have other parts of your prize package that have been sponsored, like hair and makeup services, hairstyling services, like all of those little things that normally would come out of pocket would be covered as Miss Universe. So you are making so much money. And just imagine if Miss Universe is from another country and that's her take home. And I would go right home and I would live like a true queen. Yep. Yeah, I'd be set. Arbany had a virtual interview with E! Insider, and I really liked this interview because, as I mentioned, in a lot of the interviews, they're saying a lot of the same information. But in this one, they asked her about the the favoritism allegations earlier in the year. And they also asked her how this entire experience has made her a better woman, and I love that. And she did mention very vulnerably that it was very disheartening for her when those allegations came out, and that it made prep on some days really difficult. It was difficult for her to get in the right headspace for Miss Universe, and I completely understand how that could be difficult. But she also mentioned that a lot of people have come out and messaged her and said that her journey has just really inspired them, and that she's very happy now because she can be this story of resilience, and that is so true. And then she also mentioned that you can take away her prize package, you can take away her team throughout those allegations, but you can't take away her purpose. And her purpose at the end of the day was promoting sustainability and ethical practices within the fashion industry. And that's something I'm so passionate about as well. And that's something I share about regularly on my Instagram. If you follow me at Dani Walker, that's why I thrift. About 99% of what I wear is thrifted. And I think it's just so important to promote that. And then also she talked about going into the competition and how she prayed to God for clarity. And she said that she went into Miss Universe so level-headed. And that was my hope for her, because I was wondering, you know, how are these allegations going to affect her mindset when she was competing? Clearly it didn't, but I'm so glad to hear that it really didn't, that she went in with that clear head, and it wasn't just me thinking like, oh, she's doing so well, and then, you know, things were happening behind the scenes. No, she really did go in with this clear head, with this goal of what she wanted to accomplish, and she did it. Now, obviously the new crown is called the Force for Good crown this year, and we don't know if this crown will be the same one used next year to crown Miss Universe 2023. But my question to all the contestants out there who are watching this right now is, how would you be a force for good? If this is the crown moving forward, I really believe that that is a question that you should be prepared for your interview or for an onstage question. Arbany has been all over New York, and one of the most iconic media week events that Miss Universe attends that I always love to see is her visit to the Empire State Building. I absolutely loved that. And in this appearance, she was wearing sponsored Giovanni pants, which are a sponsor of Miss USA. So going forward, I don't know if they're going to be a sponsor of Miss Universe, or if they're simply just continuing to sponsor Arbany as an individual throughout her reign. So I don't know if we're going to be seeing her in more Giovanni pieces this year. But the top is really interesting. She said that this top was created by one of her friends, and it's actually made using plastic packaging that was sewn together. So that's so cool. It's very, very on brand for her. And honestly, now I'm inspired to go around the house and kind of just like look for things and make something new out of it that I can wear. So I absolutely loved that. I think it's very inspiring. But she also went to a lot of other media events and wore some fabulous outfits, one of which I have to show you. She wore this faux fur green piece, and I could not believe when I saw it on Instagram, because for Christmas Eve, I wore a very similar coat, and mine is just thrifted and it's not even branded. Unfortunately, I wish I could share a brand with you, but I just thought it was so fun. I was like, oh my gosh, we're twinning. The other really cool thing is that Arbany got to showcase pieces that she has actually sewn herself and original designs. I love that for her media tour. So we got to see her first in this really cute blue jumpsuit. She also wore this in pink for some Miss USA interviews as well. Here are some of the other pieces that she wore during Media Week. Let's just draw some attention to our talented designers and brands here. So she is wearing Renee Garza. She also wore a lot of pieces from Z Crave, which I believe was the designer of Miss Ohio USA's interview outfit this year that I absolutely loved. She also was wearing Saint Sinatra. I'm not familiar with that brand. BCBG. Also some pieces from Express and Mark Fisher. So these have been her looks so far. Currently she is on Media Day 8. Oh my goodness, how long is this gonna go? Our new Miss Universe, honestly, she needs a little break, she needs a little rest. But fortunately, she has already been able to stop into the salon and get her hair touched up. Super excited for that. I saw her going in and getting some sort of like skin treatment in the city. Love that. She deserves all of that rest and pampering. The stylist that she went to in the city is Adele Atelier. So if you're ever in the city and you want to book an appointment, apparently they work with Miss Universe. Honestly, I've been loving her Media Week looks, but the ones that really stuck out to me were this green faux fur coat. Oh my gosh. Once again, this coat is similar to the faux fur coat that Celeste wore to her departure look for Miss Universe that I talked about because I saw a similar one in a thrift store that I really wanted to buy, but it was $250. It's a little pricey, friends. It's just, it's a little bit pricey, but she looks fabulous in this. I also really loved this pink suit and that little piece of fabric that's hanging. It's so funny because I was literally just looking at some pieces like that to wear for Fashion Week. So I might recreate something a little bit like this. And then she also had this Emily inspired look to shoot in Times Square. Times Square, of course, is very iconic. You gotta go at least once and that's it. Just go once. That's all you need for Times Square. And then there was this little video clip. I just wanna talk about this a little bit because people were commenting like crazy in the comment section, and it's Anne and Arbany and they're walking in Times Square and they're holding hands, and people were pretty bothered that Anne was holding Arbany's hand in this video, but I want to say that people are barely noticing it actually wasn't just Anne and Arbany. Arbany is holding the hands of Olivia, who is a sponsor. She's the skincare sponsor for Miss Universe. So it was actually all three of them walking hand in hand and they were doing cute little media shots. And so this is just one of those things that you see online that I feel like can really be pulled out of context. But I just wanted to share that. And I just want to say I'm so excited for Arbany. I'm very happy that she's getting her Media Week in such a grand, great way. And then she's gonna have Fashion Week right after that. I am really, really hoping that she is going to be at Fashion Week. I hope that I will run into her. Oh my gosh. But I hope that she's gonna be there and have that full New York City experience and keep growing and build a huge brand for herself and be this queen of sustainable fashion. So I'm just very excited for her. And stay tuned, friends, for even more Miss Universe episodes throughout this year. And check out my other ones that I've created post Miss Universe, including my Miss Universe recap. I hope that you enjoyed this episode though. Please let me know in the comments what you would like to see next on the channel. I greatly appreciate that and I look forward to seeing you very soon.